there's a lot of talk about bypassing, and there's a lot of descriptions of different ways that you bypass. But what I needed to do was distill it down to what exactly are we trying to avoid or bypass? What is it? I mean, when I look around, I think it's not the chair in the room that I'm trying to bypass. It's not anything other than how I feel. That's what it is. So it's a feeling or a sensation that I might be feeling or I don't want to feel. So I try to find a way around it. And so people have challenged me on that part, that avoidance comes from not wanting to feel. They've challenged me on this, and here's how I explain why I feel it comes from. But the bypassing is really about bypassing what we feel. If I have the thought that I'm the worst Christmas tree designer in the world, I don't feel anything from that. It's laughable. First of all, because I don't design Christmas trees, but mostly because there's no pain in my body when I say I'm the worst Christmas tree designer in the world. But let's say I was highly identified with being like a spiritual teacher or something closer to home. If I say that, I might feel pain over that. And it's because that thought is velcroed or connected to some emotion or sensation. So with the living inquiries or the Kiloby inquiries that were developed separately, we've put in there some tools that actually help you unhook from thoughts quicker. So in other words, instead of just witnessing, sometimes people can't just witness thoughts because those thoughts get stuck there and they get somewhat re-traumatized. So we developed some tools and borrowed some tools from other methodologies that help them unhook quicker from those thoughts. So here came a little bit of criticism towards us to ask us the question, is that bypassing? And that's when I started to study bypassing and find out where it was coming from. And then looking into my own experience and realizing that if I have the thought I'm the worst Christmas tree a designer in the world, there's nothing to bypass because I don't feel anything negative about it. But if I have the thought I'm the worst spiritual teacher and there's a feeling there, I might be motivated to try to bypass that feeling. So the body to me is where the bypassing happens. Therefore, the new work has to be focused in the somatic body in order to avoid the avoidance or to avoid the bypassing. And so that's really important for people with addictions because addiction is a bypass away from pain. But it's much broader than that. And even though you and I are talking about radical recovery, this kind of talk is helpful for almost everybody because even if you don't medicate and bypass by eating cookies or heroin, there are other ways that people bypass and avoid, which is like they become workaholics or they distract themselves or they compartmentalize their problems or they deny or ignore issues instead of facing the feeling.
Can you bring in dissociation and the nervous system again? Because a lot of times we are trying to avoid fear or terror.
Yeah, there's different. I've seen it so many different versions of dissociation, so many different causes. Sometimes it's from trauma, a different kind of trauma, where something happened that was so painful that you literally kind of leave your body as a way not. It's the ultimate bypass, really, dissociative. But when I see these things, it can be really triggering to be around someone who's dissociating because it feels like they're not there with you. But if you understand that they're just trying to survive, just like someone who drinks every day is trying to survive, then you can have compassion for them and you can see that it's not a good or bad thing or a right or wrong thing. And then you can just work on helping them not dissociate so much and own some of those feelings on their own side. And then again, once they own the feelings, not to bypass them and to move through them. For me, it's like striking gold because it's like now we've brought up the thing that you were bypassing for so long. You didn't want to feel this feeling. And now it's up here. And now we've got these somatic tools, these new somatic tools to help you be with it in a way that's manageable and then hopefully let go of it at that point. So it's fun to find those moments when you can finally bring up the thing that someone was trying to avoid for years and then help them through that. And then the feeling afterwards when they when they release that emotion and the energy that leaves and the lightness that is there is just
Mhm.
unmistakable, you know?
Hello, this is Lynn Fraser with the Kiloby Center Radical Recovery Summit. We are so excited to bring you the lineup for January 10th to 19th, 2020. Go to radicalrecoverysummit.com to see the new headliners for 2020 and to sign up. You can watch free January 10th to 19th or buy an all-access pass.